What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 6. We will be installing the glass today. As you can see, the tank is dry, cured, and if I can get my camera off, ready to rock and roll. So we added some color inside the tank. I think we ultimately ended up doing 4 layers on the walls, and 2 really thick layers on the floor. Now the only thing left that we really need to do is we need to add some beauty caps right here, which is just going to be some 2x6 boards that we'll use for fascia. I think that's what you call it. Not sure, but yeah, after we get the glass installed, see if we can this thing up by filling it up with water. Everybody around me is convinced this thing is going to fall apart, so let's find out. Let's get into today's video. So before we get started working in the new fish room, ooh, got a piece of hair sticking out. Let's go feed our fish. So as you know, we added this guy, Frank the Tank. He's a pike, he's beautiful. He is very aggressive. He cannot live with other fish because he will eat whatever you put in the tank for him. He likes to stay in his caves. There are a couple snails in there that he hasn't tried to eat yet. Over here, well, typically there's Kronos up here. He's got the big giant ship that we originally had in the 125. Became kind of cumbersome to do maintenance with that thing. So we pulled it. It's just now decoration for the room. But I think Kronos, my buddy, he's down in this lower part. He has full access to climb all the way up and into his warm room, but he likes to come kick it in the sand and cool off. Kronos, say hi. No, he's not in the mood. He's chilling. All right. See you later, buddy. Ooh, he loves when you scratch his forehead. He's like, oh, yeah. And this is another DIY build that I did out of a old cabinet door and some leftover wood I found, so that way my lizard has somewhere to kick it inside my fish room. Now next is probably my favorite fish, definitely my wife's favorite fish. This is 100% my wife's favorite tank. This is Earl and Yusuke's tank. Earl is obviously an Oscar, Yusuke is a green terror. Absolutely beautiful fish. And these two live kind of like a couple. These goldfish were put in here to feed Earl. Earl likes live fish occasionally. And for some reason, Earl decided to adopt all these fish, and he herds them around the tank and takes care of them. Over here, we have old Crooked Tail. You can see right there, he sustained some kind of injury at some point in his life that now his tail is permanently crooked. But he's right there. Awesome. Helps keep the tank clean. These guys obviously are like, give me some food. Let's grab a little bit of something so we can feed them along the way. All my fish are always hungry because they're, I don't know, they are well fed. They eat several times a day. We'll throw a little bit of fish flake for everybody in there. All right, and that's Earl and Yusuke's tank and Crooked Tail. And then our herd of goldfish that we adopted somehow. I don't know. Over here is a colony of guppies that we started. It's hard to find them. You can see them right there. That yellow male is the only original fish. This whole tank started off with 2 fish, one female blue, and that male right there that I just showed you. Since then, we've populated the tank several times, but these ultimately become feeder fish. This is what all the other fish in the room tend to eat. We only feed out the males. The females we don't feed out for breeding purposes. We leave them in there. Over here is my good friend Ninja. He's a samurai betta fish. Very cool. He originally was my son's fish. He was upstairs in my son's room, but again, maintenance became kind of cumbersome, and my son was not ready to take care of a pet. So I moved him down here into the fish room so that way I could take care of him. And oddly enough, it's probably the most social betta fish I've ever seen in my life. He loves fish. He loves hanging out. You can't know if you can see him in the background there, but there's a pea puffer swimming up and down, going crazy. There's some Cory catfish in here, all albinos. There's also an albino Brussels nose placo in here somewhere. And bamboo shrimp is also in there. And 2 African dwarf frogs are in there. Some things are harder to find than others, obviously, but everything's alive and well in there. I check it every time I do a water change. So, yeah, that's that tank right there. And this is a 40-gallon, 40-gallon, and then these 2 over here with Frank and Earl are 75-gallon tanks. Now, getting over here is our 125-gallon tank. There's Crookedfoot's brother. Came from the same batch, the one that's in Earl's tank. Then up here we have our OBs. There's our tank boss right there, big old orange and black one. We just call him DB. He's named after the Denver Broncos. There's Shirley, our other Oscar. We'll be joining Earl at some point when they get into the big tank. We got a Texas cichlid right here. We got an off-brand peacock OB down there. There's some Chinese algae eaters that everybody loves to hate. The Jack Dempsey, some convicts. Really pretty convicts right there. There's a blue peacock, hard to see with the reflection. Oh, there's a flameback. There's a baby firemouth. You know, there's Plato, big guy hiding out. Oh, our Frontosa over here. He always hides out in his cave. Can't see him very well, but he's in there. There's our blue Acara coming to make an appearance. What's up, buddy? There's our parrot, our big, beautiful goldfish. And yeah, that's the variety of fish that we are currently keeping in there. Oh, we still have a German blue ram. That guy's been in. That was my very first fish I ever bought. He's still alive, doing great. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, so these are the fish that need a new home, and that's the reason why we're building this new giant tank. These guys eat a lot of food. I'm just giving them a little bit of flake. I supplement fish flake throughout the day, sometimes 3 times a week, 1 meal. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 meal is live fish. Usually it's Rosie's. But yeah, it's a quick rundown. I haven't been showing my fish room very often because of the amount of work I've been doing on my project. But everything is still on schedule in this room. Maintenance goes pretty routinely. We try not to miss anything. And honestly, to be 100% transparent with you guys, I had gotten a little lazy with water changes, specifically the 125-gallon tank. Surely, the blue Acara and one of the convicts had to be pulled out, isolated due to ick. The water column got contaminated. I got lazy with the water changes. So that does happen, you know what I mean? And mistakes can be made that are fatal to your fish. So, you know, keep an eye on them. They'll tell you when they need something. I was just in here looking at them, admiring them, talking to my wife about how I need to do a water change, and Shirley comes to the top of the glass like she always does, right here. And on her back fin and on her side fins there, she had a bunch of ick. And then I started looking around and noticed, wow, the blue Acara has some ick. And one of the convicts has some ick. So we pulled them, we isolated them. We did about a 80% water change that I didn't film. Oh, there's our Salvini coming out to say hello. Hard to see with the reflection, but it's right there. Right underneath. Oh, our Geophagus came out too. So there is our Salvini. It's kind of swimming up to the glass, kind of curious. Very, very shy fish. Loves to hide out in his cave. He lives right on top of the frontosa. And just a super cool fish. I wish he would turn sideways so we could see some of his colors. But he's got black and red and yellows and blues, and very pretty fish. And these are all freshwater fish. My peaceful place. So, with that being said, we do have to run down to the fish store today. I do need to get a few supplies. We're running low on pellets and fish flake. So we'll have to go re-up on some food. And then we'll get back to working on our tank. Ultimately, Bill and his grandson are going to come over later, help me install this piece of glass. We will let it sit overnight to cure the silicone, and then tomorrow we're water testing. So we got a 4,500 gallon per hour pump, which will be our evacuation pump for water changes, filtration, all that stuff. So we will be set and ready to test as soon as we get the glass installed. So let's go knock it out. Ooh, sneak peek of our filtration system. Ooh. I don't know where the other piece is. You know, as we get into today's build, I suddenly realized something about the fact that I can edit videos now. I don't have to work as hard. I need 3 48-inch pieces for fascia. Wham! Hurt my hand a little bit. But there we have our 3 48-inch pieces. Now, let's go put those in. All right, can you see me? I'm down here. Okay, let me go grab. So we may or may not come back and route us in a pretty little decorative edge. I don't know. But essentially these boards are going to hang over about 3 inches, giving us a little bit of a shelf here. Like so. Okay, get you guys a better angle. And then we'll also have one in the middle. And we'll have one on the end. I know what you guys are saying. That's so ugly. It is. Sort of. But the thing you got to remember, form, fit, and function are more important to me. Essentially, I want this thing to function correctly. And the reason I'm using heavy duty 2x6s for the top is because I got them for free. It's that simple. Free wood. Wood's expensive. But this will not be installed yet because I want to get the glass over the top installed into the window before we do that. So for now, these pieces will basically just be stacked up over here. We'll get some measurements between over there, yada yada, and we'll cap off the top once we get the glass installed. Just waiting on Billy to hit me up. I don't know if he's available or not today. He has not reached out since I hit him up this morning, so we might not be able to do it today. If that's the case, we'll continue to work on this outside and get that done, because we can. All right, let's go back to screwing stuff together. All right, guys. So unfortunately, we do not have a piece of glass in the garage anymore. It's gone. Just kidding. Welcome to the MTFR shed of sheds. Let me close this so we don't have so much glare. But the glass now lives where it's supposed to. This is awesome. Billy and his grandson came and installed the glass for me. Obviously with my back, I cannot lift crazy huge piece of glass. And Billy and his grandson did not want to be on camera. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for coming and doing this for me. It's an epic part of the project and I cannot wait to progress this project now. So without further ado, let's let this silicone dry. I'll see you in the morning so we can start capping this thing and water testing. Let's go. All right, so we're working on the boards. Woo, that light hasn't adjusted. To cap off right here. But I think we should stain them and epoxy them before we install them. And also we need to do this front cap all around the glass. So let's knock that out. Also, I had to get a haircut because I was starting to look like a mop head. So haircut, done. Fascia boards, pretty much done. Need to cut the cap. It's right there. Let's do it. Okay, so we got all our boards sanded and we have dark walnut 2716, which is what we're going to be using to stain the cap because I want to seal up that wood. And again, I had this lying around. I don't know what I had used this on before, but that's what we're using today. Got a microfiber towel, got some stain. Forgot, can't open it though without a screwdriver. So, oh, I'm an idiot. Let me grab some gloves because I don't want to be all stained. Got some gloves. And hopefully there's enough stain here to stain all this wood, because it's quite a bit. So I'm literally just going to douse it a little bit, and I'm going to go back and hit it with our rag. And we're going to stain out all the wood just like that. Give ourselves a little dab in the thing, maybe, and get it down to it. There we go. We're just going to continue to rub that in. And after we get it stained, we'll come back and brush on a layer of epoxy. Guarantee us a nice seal, nice color, and you know, all that jazz. So that's what we're up to. Ooh, there we go. There's a good dollop. The words in the English language, man. What is a dollop? How do you measure a dollop? Is that a thing? Is a dollop measurable? All you folks out there that cook, I think is where you would use a dollop of something. Is that a measurable thing? How do you know what a dollop is? It's a stupid question, but I'm kind of a stupid guy. So down in the comments, let me know what the heck a dollop is. I know I could probably just go look it up on the internet, but I'm lazy. Okay, now we need a smaller dollop because we're just on the sides here. Like I said, I just chose this color because I had it lying around. I'm not a designer by any means. You know what I mean? I was hoping somebody would comment down below with ideas on how to do things in this room, but so far the chat's been relatively quiet. Except for Boyd Aquatics. My boy Boyd. He's a family man out of Georgia. Awesome gentleman, always comments on my videos. Appreciate you, Boyd. All right, that's a wrap on that. Let them dry. We'll get a layer of epoxy on them. All right, we gotta take a little break to go retrieve my kiddos from school. So, let's do that real quick. Get back to the tank, keep building. Sorry about the TV. Donut operator, if you ever see one of my videos, you're the man, bro. Love watching your channel. All right, guys, we're back. We're gonna start water testing right now. Lacey just ran back to turn on the water. I have, let me show you guys. I have a hose in the water right here. Hose in the tank right here. And we're gonna start spewing some water. We're gonna take the water level all the way up to the glass, and then we'll see what happens. All right, guys, here comes the water. Had to go fix the hose real fast because I had it attached to my sprinkler system. But there it goes. Our first look at the tank getting some water. Filling it up. All right, I'm gonna throw you guys on a tripod, do a little time lapse, bring you back once we get to that bottom level of the glass. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and move the camera because I doubt you guys can see what I'm doing. So why don't we bring y'all down here? All right, can you see me? Can you see what I'm working on here? Okay, so like I said, coupler that attaches via threads onto the top. It's gonna go on there nice and tight. Thank you. Next, got our pipe cleaner and our glue. And we're gonna throw on a few gloves for this because stuff gets messy. I guess I could move you all up so I can put my face in there. Okay. So like I said, coupler's attached. We're gonna take a little bit of cleaner. We're gonna hit the inside of our pipe with the cleaner. Make sure we're nice and clean. We're also gonna hit the outside of our pipe with said cleaner. Now I went with black pipe simply because they say PVC pipe, especially white, grows with quite a bit of algae. And we want to keep that out as much as possible because we're not going to be running a UV filter. So, let's get our glue unglued. And I always like to do both ends of this. So we'll do a little inside here, another little dab right there around our pipe. Then we'll secure our pipe to our coupler like so. And this glue works so freaking fast. It almost starts drying on you instantly, so you gotta be quick. Not too quick, but quick enough. All right, so now that's gonna dry. So now we need another coupler like this to add to the top to make the whole thing tall enough to be able to submerge itself into the tank, which so far is filling up quite a bit. It's almost hard to tell where the water line is even at. Hold on, let's take a quick minute to look where we're at. Lace, kill that water for a second. I want to have a look at some stuff. So, here's where we are. And my curiosity is, well, actually, I'm going to end that. All right, I was just checking the water level to see where we're at. We're almost to the base of the glass, so we're gonna pause right there for a second. We're gonna get this coupler cleaned up. I'm gonna get us some, oh. My kids are outside playing on the trampoline, messing around. It is a freaking beautiful evening in Colorado. Just holding it down because I don't know why. If it's like the thermal expansion of the glue reacting with the air, but it forces the pipe out of position, pushes it up. It's really weird. But for just a few seconds, you hold it down and you'll be good to go. So the inside of that one is already cleaned up. Let's get the outside of this one cleaned up. This one will be going right on top of that one. So this one just requires this to be cleaned. Then we gotta get a little bit of glue on this guy. And then some glue in here. And then just like that. We're gonna do that. And for the record, probably want to wear a mask because I can't breathe for shit right now. Woo! My eyes are on fire. That kind of sucks. But if you're wondering, I pre-measured, and I'll explain once we get this glued together what my thought process is here. And what ultimately will end up being our evacuation pump and our filtration pump all in one. There's a few things we still need to add to this pump. Like a sponge and a few other things that I just like to make sure are all in order before we submerge it. So that's going to take care of that. Now, the way this thing is going to sit in the water, I think, will be like this. Having children. Alrighty, the pipe is set. That far anyways. Dang it, I think I screwed something up. No. Tape measure, tape measure. I need a tape measure. Is there a tape measure out there? Okay. So, I don't know why my memory, I thought I did that differently in my head, but I didn't. So I think this is going to sit just like this inside of there. So I think we're gonna do a T that can shoot water directly outside the shed if we need it to, because I kind of want to build a garden over there that this water can then provide for. Be able to cut a 1-inch hole through the wall. All right, I'll be right back. I need to go look and see if I have a 1-inch hole saw. Okay, we're back. I had to put together a hole saw to stay right outside so it doesn't stink too bad for you for the moment. This fitting though, I don't want to glue it just yet, because I think we need to submerge this, make sure that all my eyeballing skills aren't deceiving me. Probably need glasses. I'm over here eyeballing stuff. Magic measurements. God dang. Alright. So we gotta make sure this guy stays out the tank. And this guy can go into the tank. Ooh. Oh, I love that sound. Okay. Without cutting my hand off. Okay, we just rattled everything loose. Busted the pump open. Okay, but now we're cooking with stuff. Lace, is that like extension arm thingy grabber in here? Do you see it back there? Maybe by where the broom usually goes. So then I want to take this and just see. Oh man, it's gonna be so close. Mark something. Would you grab me a pencil? I don't think there's one in here. Oh, did you see one? That's good enough. I just need something to mark it because I need to slide this kind of out of the way for a second. Okay, now go outside and see if you could feel me tapping on the wall. Okie dokie. So. Okay, let's. Okay, good job. So this hole saw is missing like literally all its teeth. Might have seen better days, so. Babe, you were done out there, baby. So now that'll go there. This will go here. Well, it's not gonna stick out that, we'll trim it eventually. Huh? The hole. Yeah, I know. That's gonna get filled in with a little bit of expanding foam. That's why I saved that last can. But I need that extendo thing to put the pump back together. Or I guess it don't really matter for now. Let's get this part done so we can test it. So, first things first is this gotta come out. Hold that. And this has got to come off. So I need to clean it. And because we got it right here, we're just going to go ahead and clean all 3 sides. My wife's afraid of the camera.
No, it just stinks.
Oh, it does. It does.
But
stink.
I think I have to give this to you, so.
It does stink pretty bad. So we're gonna go like that. And we're gonna go like this. Now, I know I'm using a lot of chemicals inside the tank. So, you know, I'm obviously gonna do several water changes, and I'll be testing the water to confirm that we're not having any contaminants in it. So, that's a concern. You should not be so concerned. Okay. So we're good there. Sounds like we got a storm on the way. So this pipe needs cleaned. All right, guys, sorry. I lost a little bit of footage. We got it assembled. We got the shutoff valve placed on top. And I'll show you everything here in a second. I had to switch to storage because the internal memory was full, so we had to switch over to the SD card. But we got it all put together. We just wanted to give it a minute to let the glue set, and then we're gonna give her hell. So I'm gonna give my wife the camera. Slide, lift it. Yeah, slide, there you go. She's gonna go out back to where that pipe is exposed, and we're gonna run a test. You ready? Holy shit. Damn! Oh, that thing. Oh, man. Okay. That thing has some freaking power.
I definitely think you should get it stabilized.
Yeah, it was like blah, 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 blah.
All of that water is not going to be good for that.
Yeah, holy schmoly. Okay, so let's get back to it. If you want to turn on that water, let's continue filling up the tank and see what happens. See, this shutoff valve will be on that 1-inch pipe sticking out of the house to, you know, turn off that pipe. Who knows? I might still cut it off and put it right there. I don't know. But I do feel confident in our ability now to evacuate a shit ton of water in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That thing looked like a fire hose. Yeah. And it didn't blow apart any of our glue. Like I said, the PVC glue usually dries pretty quick. So no issues there. And keep in mind too, when we evacuate the water out that 1-inch pipe, it's being reduced, you know what I mean? So it's 4,500 gallons per hour being shot through what should be a 2-inch pipe reduced to a 1-inch pipe. So that's why you see so much velocity coming out of the backside of that pipe and it wanting to jerk away from the wall. But whatever, that's fine. Too much power is better than not enough. But we are reaching the glass. So might have to get in there to put the pump back together though. So far I have not seen any air bubbles, so.
A few moments later.
Ooh, spooky. All right, bad news. Test number 1 failed epically. Oh, there we go, kind of light. So bright. So what we did, we drained out the tank. Obviously, thank God we installed that freaking pump over there, which worked great to evacuate the water, by the way. But we had a tiny little leak right here. It's hard to see, but right where the middle of the light is, there was some water seeping out right there. You can see where it's a little wet. So yeah, we're gonna fix it. So I'll see you guys first thing in the morning. Bam. See you later. All right, what's up, guys? We're gonna take a little break before we get back to working on the shed. Obviously, you guys seen that the first attempt failed and we had a little bit of a leak. We have a game plan. We're going to seal it up a little bit better where I had installed the bracing for the glass. So before we do that though, we're back in the fish room, the OG fish room. Need to check out Frank the Tank, and we're gonna do a little bit of live feeding today. So Frank the Tank loves his goldfish. Let's see if we can get Frank to come out. Come on, Frank. You want some goldfish? He's like, yeah, not your finger. Oh, actually, hold on. We're gonna feed Frank in a minute. I forgot. I grabbed the rosies first. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna hook Earl up with some live fish. I'm gonna come around to the side so you can see. All right, there's, see if Earl's interested. I'm gonna feed Earl a couple of these guys. Yep, there he goes. Oh, he had it. Yusuke don't play. Look at her, she's on the hunt. Everybody's like, what? What? Get you some. All right, Earl got one. I don't know if you got it on camera. He just smashed one.
Yeah.
Then over here, all of these guys are pretty hungry, so majority of these fish will go here. If I can get them out and in my hand, because they are super floppy all over the place. Some of these fish are just straight up hunters and they like to hunt.
Shirley isn't even...
Shirley hasn't seen one yet. Let's put one over here. Oh, there she goes. Shirley's on the move. Shirley loves her some rosies. She'll have 3 or 4 tails sticking out of her mouth here in a minute. And we're gonna feed Frank a couple goldfish. And as always, big shout out to Valley Pets. That's where I get all my feeder fish from. That's where all these goldfish and rosies came from. Let's make it a little brighter in here. Okay, same thing. Frank, he's probably starving. Not starving, but he's probably hungry. We're gonna get us just one goldfish. Get it in there, see if Frank's hungry. Oh, snatched him right up. Frank the Tank. The beast, look at him. Just a pure hunter.
Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que
Play with his food first. Spitting up scales, look at him. All right, guys, there's a little live action from the fish room. Hope you enjoyed the live fish feeding. Let's get back to the action, fix our tank, and get these guys upgraded. I couldn't help myself. When I was in here filming a second ago, I noticed the water looked pretty yellow. So if you watched previous videos, I recently had in this tank specifically a couple of fish that I had to pull, isolate, and treat to get ick removed from them. So for that reason, I'm a little paranoid. So we went ahead and did a water change. We're filling up the tank right now. That hose runs to my bathroom sink. I've shown previous videos. I have quick connects on the other side of this hose, so it just locks right into the faucet. Monitor the temperature here, but I do use a barbecue temperature thermometer right here to confirm that I'm at 79 degrees, and then I monitor right here to make sure. But as you can see previously, if you watched maybe 2 minutes ago in the video, this water was like yellow. It looked funky to me, so we went ahead and changed it out. Fish are happy. They're still our live feeder fish. Yeah, man, I'm kind of paranoid after last week, so we did a water change real quick, heading to the shed as soon as this thing is full. All right, guys, we finally made it back into the shed. It is by no means morning. I lied. It's, we'll say mid-afternoon to be nice. But we're back. We've got our boards right here that are nice, stained, looking Awesome. So we're gonna start laying this stuff out and getting this installed. Once we have to get into the tank to install this wood, once we get it placed where we want it, then we'll do the other waterproofing steps that we need to do to make sure that we're not leaking down there at the bottom anymore. So let's get right in to fixing this guy up. Missed. Okay, the next step is gonna be pretty shitty. All right guys, time to embrace the suck. We're inside the tank, you can't tell, and you might be wondering how we're gonna fix our little problem with the leak. We are going to just give it a little bit more silicone. I think it's got plenty of layers of epoxy, but there are a few spots where I drilled a hole to install that wood, and I think that's where our leaks are coming from. So we're gonna fix those up and get unfortunately wet, but let's just knock it out. All right, what's up guys? So, ooh, cool. We went ahead and added just a little bit of color to our mix, and we also added in some, what was it, silver glitter, just to give it a weird, cool stain that will now cover over this dark stuff. So we're just gonna start right here, get an idea of what it looks like. And this is just gonna be a really, really thin layer to waterproof this piece of wood, and that's the only goal here. We're not trying to cover every piece of it or make it completely, you know, even layered with epoxy. We just want it to be able to take splashes. But we definitely don't want to put so much epoxy on here that it starts to run off onto the floor or anything like that. So these will be really light brushed on layers that will have that glitter mixed in, which we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
May have been a bad idea, but we'll see. Man, there's a huge gap right there.
I know, I just saw that too. That's big.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be filled in with some caulking. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go right there. We'll pick up as soon as we get done with this layer of epoxy, and I think we're ready for water testing again. So, see you in a second. All right, guys, it's the next day. Everything is dry. It's time for round two. See if we can't get this thing to hold some water. So what we did is we just threw a waterproofing layer on top of the epoxy. Drew epoxy on top of the wood. We did cut out a little bit of relief right here for our pipe because it was eyeballed a little low. Who would have thought? But yeah, overall, you can see we reinforced. Oh, hold on, I gotta put you guys upside down, but you guys can see how we reinforced with silicone all the way across the bottom there. There's our pump. Oh, let's get this done. Time lapse of water filling up starts now. Alright guys, thanks for watching episode 6. Stay tuned for episode 7 because we're going to be putting together our Temu filter and adding some bacteria and hopefully adding some fish into the new tank. Got a lot of room, a lot of work to do in the rest of the room. Make sure to look right here. YouTube thinks you'll like this video. Subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any of our projects, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.